Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Making It Handmade. I'm your host, Sari. In our first episode, we explored the joy of crafting, and today I'm diving into a topic that many creators struggle with: balancing passion and running a business. So, when I first started, I was so excited of getting things done. I obviously started, well, actually, not obviously. Let me tell you a story. So I started the business because I wanted to know how to make notepads, how to make stationery, how to make books, how to make notebooks, basically how things were done and make them. Because I absolutely love making things by hand, and it's just so therapeutic, so exciting, and just like the joy that you get after you make it. Because it's like, oh my God, I made this. Me, I did it and it looks amazing. So yeah, at first everything was super cool because all I had to focus on really was on how to make things. Actually no, that itself takes a lot of time, a lot of trial and error to figure out how to get it perfect. But the first part of it is really fun because you're doing what you love. Now the business side of it, oh my goodness, let me tell you, it was such a struggle. It still is. So much legal stuff, copyright, and it's just, oh my God, a nightmare. Gotta say, there's so many times that I was like, I can't do this. Like, I need an adult to run the business side of the business, and I can focus on getting the fun stuff and figuring how to combine good paper, test stuff. Like, can I do that? And then an adult does the business? I'm 30 years old, by the way. I don't know if anybody else can relate to that, but don't you wish that there was like just like some magical adult that gets all your stuff done? Some people call that a husband. Others call them a wife. So it kind of really depends on the kind of relationship you're in, or if you're in a relationship at all. Moving on. To start, let's talk about our passions. What does crafting mean to you? Take a moment. Try to figure out, why do you love crafting? Why do you love making handmade products? What fuels your creativity and happiness? Are you doing it because you want to just make money? Is it because I don't know, you see a lot of people that just overnight, they just blew up because of their handmade products? Are you just wanting to have a side hustle because you need that extra income? Are you doing it because you just absolutely love doing it and you figure, hey, might as well make a business out of it? Either answer you give, it's honestly, it's valid. Whatever the reason it is that you're doing what you're doing is absolutely valid because it's your life. If you've been doing this for a while, maybe you have already come to a point where it just feels overwhelming. Just balancing everything, balancing the creative part of it, which sometimes it can be very, very hard. You can get creative blocks. You can just like not being able to translate the ideas you get in your brain to the actual tangible stuff. Add to that the business side of it. Maybe the costs are skyrocketing. Maybe something that was available, now it's no longer available, which, by the way, happened to me. It was such a trial and error to find the perfect cardstock to use for my greeting cards. And I finally found the one that I was like, this is beautiful. The feel is amazing. It was just perfect for me. And I was so excited for it. I found a manufacturer that I absolutely loved. The turnaround was amazing. The price was like, it was fine. And then, I kid you not, literally the same year, a couple of months after, I was like, okay, I'm ready to restock all my stuff. I go on their website. They were closing down. And all of the stuff that I needed were just sold out because they were closed, right? They were getting rid of everything, so there was like a massive sale, and I just didn't get the memo. So I was back on square one on trying to find the perfect cardstock or paper for my greeting cards. It was just a nightmare. You're gonna have highs and lows. Maybe you already have. And it's just a matter of like, okay, how much do you really want this? How much do you believe in the business that you're creating? And I don't know, maybe sometimes it's just like how much money can you afford to put into it? How many losses can you take before you say, okay, I'm out? It's hard. But you know what? You started this for a reason. You have a goal in mind, and we're gonna get there. Let's switch gears and talk about the moment that you knew that your handmade passion could turn into a business. I remember when I was making my notepads and I was so happy with it. So I was like, you know what? Let me just open a Etsy shop. It's free. Might as well give it a shot. And I did it. I don't know. It maybe took like a month or so. Got my first sale, but then I really focused on like the niche that I wanted to pursue. Really worked on my keywords, on like all the technical stuff. I made more designs that I was happier with, and the sales kept coming in. At the moment, I was a full-time architectural designer. So I was just doing this on the side and it was incredibly overwhelming. I'm going to go into detail like how that unraveled, but I realized, you know what? This can be a business. This is a good idea. People actually love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Once I started getting those reviews, I love the quality. I love the designs. Love, 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 love. It just made me feel so happy. It just made me feel like, you know what? People appreciate what I'm doing. And I can turn this into a business, especially because at the moment on my job, I just felt like underappreciated, like hardcore. So this just make me feel like, you know what, I'm doing something right. I feel like this has the potential to grow. Let's turn it into a business. That was my aha moment. So can you think of what moment made you think, yes, this can be a business? Just take a moment to think about it and just inhale that happiness. You're right. Your idea can turn into a business. You just have to like really put a lot of effort and work into it. But you can get there. Which is your absolute worst part of the business side of your business? Is it the marketing aspect? Are you struggling to figure out, okay, now that I have this good idea, I believe in it, and I love it, I love what I'm doing, how do I get it in front of the right people? You're struggling with that? Is it the customer service? Whenever you get a bad review or somebody's reaching out to you not super nicely, you'll like struggle to be like, ugh, I have to be professional, even though I know that you're in the wrong and that you just suck as a human person. Is that the part that you struggle with? Is it managing the finances? Oh my goodness. Are you doing all of this manually? Having a spreadsheet of all of your expenses? Do you even know how to keep track of your expenses? Are you able to just literally write down everything? Do you know what qualifies as a deductible? Are you still spending your own money for the business because the business is not producing enough? So which side? There's so many aspects of it. Which one do you think right now that you struggle with the most? I think the toughest part about balancing business and your passion is the fact that sometimes business can get in the way. Sometimes you have a really good idea or you want to pursue something else. But realistically speaking, can you actually afford it? Is it realistic to take that step? Is it an investment that's going to be worth it? The fact that you have to think about those things before just pursuing that creative line is one of the clashes between passion and business. On top of being an artist, a crafter, or whatever you want to call yourself, you also have to be a business person. You have to have that mindset. One of my absolute worst struggles is really marketing. I keep on putting a lot of things on my plate. And I'm also the kind of person that if I don't see results that I need right away, I'm just going to move to the other thing that's more pressing. So I just do struggle with that. This year, I really want to focus on growing my social media. I have a decent amount of followers. Well, decent for me. I know the standards are very different for everybody. But to me, it's decent. But then engagement, it's pretty low. It's definitely not where I want it to be at the moment. Last year, I really wanted to focus on markets. So I was like, let me put all my effort into markets, into producing stuff for markets and not really focus on marketing. But you know what? I cannot just be producing things when the marketing isn't there, because yes, well, one market could be really good and amazing, and all this effort that I took from focusing on marketing could pay off because this market itself was marketing. But if the market fails, then I have put all my eggs in that one basket that turned out to be trash. So this is why you have to balance things so well. So we talked about all the fun parts of business, all the sucky parts of business, and how balance is literally the key. But how do we get there? Here are some tips that I found very helpful. 1, set boundaries. Create designated times for crafting versus business. You cannot just say, okay, I am gonna just work on this task until I finish, when there's other stuff that need to be done. And I get you, it's really hard. Especially if you're doing something that you really like, you just want to continue until you finish. But if you set those boundaries of like, okay, I'm gonna just be working, let's say an hour. I'm gonna be working for an hour on this thing, and then in the next hour I'm gonna do this. Obviously an hour is not realistic, but I'm just trying to make a point here. And then the next hour I'm gonna work on this other thing. If you set those boundaries, then you're limiting yourself, like, okay, this is as much as I'm gonna get done on this part today. So that way you can look back at your day and guess what? You have accomplished a lot. Planners are your best friends now. Okay, now that you know that you have to set boundaries, you have to prioritize tasks. Identify essential tasks. What needs your attention immediately versus what can wait. My favorite things that I love doing is just keeping my planner and then color code things. Because when, not gonna lie, if I see a planner and everything is just like black ink, it's just not gonna make me happy. I'm just gonna look at it and I'm gonna be like, this is not making me happy. So I just make it really pretty. I put stickers, I put things that needs to be done quickly, things that I just need to work on it throughout the week. Like for example, if you spread out your week is way better. For instance, right now I know that one of my goals for this year is to really get into stores and have more wholesale orders. But I know that realistically speaking, I cannot just go and search for like 100 stores, emails and stuff on one day. And if I focus on just getting those, let's say 100 store information until I'm done, I am just not gonna get anything else done. So what I'm doing right now currently is like, okay, I have dedicated days where I'm doing research on which stores I want to reach out to, and dedicated days where I want to email them my stuff and my pitch. Obviously, it's not like entire days because I also have other tasks. So tasks that I know are going to take me a very long time, I can spread them out throughout the whole week. And things that I know it's going to take, not going to take me that long, I'm going to have like just like dedicated day to do that. But this way I know, okay, I need to get this stuff done on this day, and I cannot dedicate the entire day to just this one task. That works for me. Hopefully works for you. Actually, let me know what works for you in the comments. Now we have talked about how to be productive, but remember, self-care is extremely important. So make sure every single day to do something for you. Whatever that is for you, make sure to take care of yourself. Take time to acknowledge, hey, I'm doing great. I accomplished so much. And even if you didn't accomplish a lot of stuff, I cannot tell you how many times I have just pushed myself to a limit and then I'm just like burned out. I just feel terrible. I just feel like, what's the point of doing anything? And I just feel extremely tired all the time that I don't even feel like going out. It is not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. Because not only that ruins your productivity, that just ruins your mental health. And is it really worth it? No. So take care of yourself. As you move forward in your journey, trust your instincts. Don't be afraid to adjust your balance as needed. And I hope that this podcast can be very helpful for you, even if it's just to hear that somebody is also struggling, just as you. Finding the balance between passion and business requires self-awareness and a lot of trial and error. So what's your homework for the week? It really is up to you. I'm not going to give you homework. No, but let me just summarize the main takeaways. Set a planner aside for your business. Having just like a physical planner to just like look at stuff and then crossing things off helps me out a lot, because it also helps me see, hey, I accomplished all of this stuff today. Set boundaries, have dedicated times to do each task, and even like your family, time for your family. Definitely set time for that. Set time for yourself. I know that sometimes it's going to feel really hard. Sometimes it's going to feel really great. But I hope that this podcast really resonated with you. I hope that you can feel like, hey, we are struggling together, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We're going to get where we want to get. Because maybe my end goal, might be very different than your end goal. And we're going to get to an end goal. We will get there. So that's all for me today. Thanks so much for joining. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. See you next week for more insights into the delightful world of handmade creations.